All right, hello friends. Let me just adjust this a little bit and come around to say hello. Hello, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I'm Philly and this is my kitchen. And this is my very much, what I would say, fly by the seat of your pants kitchen day, because this is my What's for Dinner stream. It's the second one I've done where I just kind of go with it. I had no real plans for dinner tonight. Although I did have to look and see like what I had, which is what we all do, right? On a weeknight, we just kind of check out what we have, what will work. And one of the things I always have in my freezer, which is a great protein for what's for dinner night, are frozen shrimp. The frozen shrimp are so delicious and yummy, and they cook up fast and they defrost fast. So I defrosted some. I have them in the fridge, and those are what I'm going to be using. And tonight I'm making Singapore noodles. So Singapore noodles are one of my favorite fast, easy weeknight meals. First of all, you don't even have to have the shrimp. You could use any leftover protein you might have. You could just use vegetables and just add some egg. So there's egg's going to be in mine, but you could just have it be eggs and veggies. And what I like about Singapore noodles, besides how delicious they are, is the fact that you don't need any prep ahead. So I love fried rice, but that means I have to have leftover rice. To really make a good fried rice, it needs to be day old, get dried out in the fridge. And I honestly don't usually have leftover rice, because if you know me, you know that rice and pasta call my name, and mashed potatoes, really any potatoes. So once I make a dish, if I have leftovers and they're in the fridge, they say, Philly, and they call me. And then I have to go eat them. So I rarely have leftover rice because of that. Or if I do, I save it for breakfast, and I love doing it with some eggs. But I digress. So it's a Wednesday, it's a hump day. One of my favorite times to drink wine, and by the way, it's Wine Wednesday, is when I'm fixing dinner. I actually think I almost enjoy having a glass while I'm fixing dinner as much as I enjoy pairing wines with meals and all that. And I do love that. But there's something about having a little bit of wine when you're fixing your dinner. And since it's Wine Wednesday, I am going to indulge myself. I actually opened this last night. If anyone saw, by the way, follow me on Twitter, Philly Live. I'm also on Instagram, although I think I only posted this on Twitter. So I just felt like a little bit of wine. And so I opened up this bottle of Pinot Noir. It's from California. It's called Calaveda. I think I'm saying that right. And I'd not had before. At our wine stores, actually both the different ones I go to, one's in Jersey and one's in PA, they always have these recommendations based upon, you know, either their own staff or specialists that work with them. And I actually use those recommendations to inform my purchasing. And I will tell you, more times than not, I'm pretty happy with the results. So this one was recommended, and it is delicious. It is smooth. The description says, light aromas of raspberry jam, black currant, toasted oak, followed by luscious cherry, juicy plum, and vanilla flavors, making this wine rich, unforgettable, and have finesse. Nice, right? So that said to me, let's give this a try. And it is delicious. Let me have a little sip. And let's see who's on the chat. Barbara, hello. Oh my goodness. Jersey girl, I felt horrible about forgetting to put you in the thank you part when I was sharing the video from earlier this week. By the way, for those of you joining the stream, I guess it was on Monday, we rescheduled a stream. We made, my son came over and we made pizza from one of our acclaimed chefs here in the city, his dough recipe, and it was a little bit hectic. I looked at the video later, by the way, Barb, and I noticed how red-faced I got because I was super hyped, right? I had a lot of adrenaline running through me. Of course, those of you who've seen my live streams would say, when do you not, Philly? Really, when do you not? But felt it then, because while I've made pizza before, I've made my own dough before, that was a new one for me, and I just was nervous. I don't know about y'all, but so even if I don't have a camera on me, a lot of times I'll get a little nervous when I'm cooking something new. So let me know, does that happen to you? If you're watching this video later, let me know. What are the dishes that kind of get you a little bit more nervous? One of them is coming up. Thanksgiving. I've made Thanksgiving dinner for years and I always get a little hyped. Not in the beginning, couple days beforehand when you have time and you're kind of prepping things, but when it's coming, push comes to shove to get the turkey in the oven and then getting everything on the table, I just definitely get hyped. So it's not just the camera. I just want you to know that. And you might all say poor hubs because of that. So yes, this is delightful. This is a great wine from California. And I'm going to relax more this stream because really, and by the way, if you're watching from afar, thank you so much for your support. But with streams, you can pop in and pop out. So, and if you don't want to chat, that's fine, but I love hearing from you. Archie, don't show me any food. I just got back from eating enough Thai food for the whole nice treat. Oh my gosh, Archie, I love Thai food. You have to let us know some of the dishes that you ate. Please put in the chat what you've had. And Barbara, what are you having for dinner tonight? I'd love to know. So I have a treat for y'all. We are going to make Singapore noodles, but this week when I was scrolling through Instagram, which by the way, it totally feeds my foodie fetishes. I mean, I love seeing what creators are coming up with, and honestly, sometimes it's a little kooky, but I really don't follow those people. It's the ones that really, love sharing great dishes. And this one content creator, oh, I got a little wet on that. And she's Well Made by Kylie. I put the link below, by the way, so you can look at her reel, her little video. She had made this, and I forgot what it's called actually. And I put that down there below. It's like a cinnamon streusel, pumpkin with chocolate chips bread. Like it just sounded divine. And the cinnamon and the chocolate chips and the pumpkin. And so I decided I'm going to make that first and have that cooking so that later when I'm done cooking the Singapore noodles, it should be done. So I'm not saying like the pumpkin chocolate streusel thing goes with Singapore noodles, but you know what? I have a glass of wine. I've got time. My hubs is away, and so he will enjoy coming back to some of this this pumpkin. It's almost like cake, honestly. They call it bread, but really it's cake. He will enjoy coming back to that when he gets back tomorrow. So yes, so I'm going to make that. So we're going to whip it together super fast as I can. And one of the things I'm going to do to help it cook faster is I'm going to use my air fryer. And because of that, I'm going to cut the recipe in half. And so anything measurements I'm doing are half of what she calls for. But again, the link is below. So thank you, Well Made by Kylie, for the great recipe. I'm anxious to try it. I actually told her I was going to try it. And I'm not sure how it's all going to fit, but I hope it's just going to fit in one. That's my plan. But in case it's going to be two, I've got this other one. And these are great because these I actually bought on Amazon, designed for the air fryer. So they're nice, small size, which cooking for two, since we're empty nesters, I actually really like. I like being able to have kind of a smaller size, that we don't have all this food. And if I do have to make two, then I'll just freeze the other one, which will be great too, because then we can get something out of the freezer at some point. So I'll put some cooking spray there, but first let's get the dry ingredients together. Or actually, no, we're gonna get the wet ingredients together. And then I'm going to use a sieve to put the dry ingredients and then finish sifting that. But I will say, first, what Kylie suggested was making the streusel. A crazy amount of food. I'm sure you did, but I want to know. I want to know what you got. I want to know like what the yummy stuff was, because there's a lot of great Thai dishes. And was it spicy Thai, or was most of your Thai not spicy? By the way, I'm looking at my picture and it looks a little blurry. So is it looking blurry to y'all too? Because it looks a little blurry on my front. In fact, I'm going to go around just to look at the camera, make sure everything looks kosher. All right, it seems like it looks okay. So we shall see. So let's carry on. So we're going to do the streusel topping first. So for the streusel topping, we need flour. Now this is not the bread flour that I used for the pizza. This is just regular flour. I dumped that, and you can see it was getting low. I put some fresh, new regular flour in there, all-purpose flour, if you will. And we're going to be, for the streusel pudding, 1/4 cup plus an 1/8 cup flour with some brown sugar, regular sugar, cinnamon, and there we go. So I've got, oh, I forgot to get the cinnamon out. Let me get that out. I tried to get everything else out and ready. You know, I try to be efficient for y'all, not have you wait too long for me to get my act together. All right, so let's first get the streusel topping, and to that we are adding a 1/4 cup butter. So I've got my butter all set. And I'm gonna put that on last because I just like using my fingers to kind of, you know, get it all mixed up for that streusel topping. So let's get the flour in here first. So I've got my cup. I need a little knife to cross over the top. It is a little blurry, you're right. Huh. It is a lot blurry on my end. That is really strange. So that's new. That hasn't happened before. Let me just make sure it's not, was it blurry to start, Barb and Archie? Let me just make sure I don't have something on my lens. So 1 second, friends, for this little wipe. Okay. Interesting. Let me see if that helped. Nope, still blurry. No, it is definitely blurry. I don't know if it's my connection, but like nothing is different. What do y'all think? Oh, let me see Archie's stuff. It says 6 appetizer selection, green chicken curry, beef black bean, shrimp, and yellow bean. Oh my gosh. Pork with veg, or I can't read the last part, mixed veggies and jasmine fried rice, $40 a person. That is a lot of food. Oh my gosh. So thank you, Barbara, by the way, for saying it's not that bad. I do think because this will eventually become a video, let me see if I can stop it and start it. So let me just tell you, because whoever else is on, I'm going to stop it and restart it to see if it changes it. You might have to click on something else. Just hold tight, okay? You might have to go back to YouTube and click, and I'm sorry, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and that is driving me crazy. So let me just see. Let me just see. Okay. No, it really didn't. Huh. Oh, man. That is so strange. I don't know why. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. No. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let me see if that did anything. No. Okay. So I am so sorry, but I am going to pop off and pop it back on. So let me do that. And my apologies, friends. Wait. Oh, it got better. Right? I think it's not perfect, but I think it's better than it was. What do y'all think? Hey, Eugenia. Eugenia, how's the picture? Because it was really blurry before, and now it's just somewhat blurry. And my goodness, this wine has flushed my cheeks already. All right, so Archie, do you think it's better? Because you just said good idea. So, because it's a little delayed on how the stuff comes up. Do you think I should restart, Arch, or are we good? It's not bad. Okay, yeah, it's at least a few minutes ago, it was really blurry. By the way, sorry y'all for this boring stuff, but we just need to make sure everyone can see. I see it's not as crisp as it usually is, but, oh, my goodness. Well, at least this is a casual stream, but that really is disappointing. You know, the tech, we get so spoiled by it, right? We just expect it all to work. All right, back to this. So I'm going to be putting in I packed this stuff in, so this is a bit of a mess. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to put in 1/4 and 1/8 cup. It's all packed up, so I'm just going to kind of shift it around. You know, when you first get flour, it's kind of all packed, and I really don't want that. Now, this is not going to actually make the actual cake bread, whatever, I forget what Kylie quite called it, but the streusel, and so how bad could that be? But I'm just going to eyeball doing the 1/8 because, you know, this is just making the streusel. All right, so that's about 1/4 and 1/8 cup, and we'll set this aside because we'll need this later. All right, so to the streusel topping, we want to add some regular sugar and some brown sugar. So my brown sugar is right up here. We're adding 1/4 cup of that also. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to eyeball this. Because like this is not the stuff that's making the cake. This is just the yummy stuff on top. So we can totally eyeball this, right guys? Let's see, Eugenia and Barb and Arch. This is going to be a treat. So I believe 1/4 cup is 3 tablespoons. So I'm hearkening back on my my math, or I don't even know if it's math. I guess it'd be home ec, right? So we got my 1/4 cup, and I think we're going to need this for the actual cake too. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then it's really funny because she said then some regular sugar, which is fine, but I just thought that was interesting. We'll play along. Here's some regular sugar that Hubs uses for his coffee. There we go. And then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So let's have, cinnamon is one of my favorite baking spices. I just love cinnamon. What's your favorite cinnamon thing? Especially right now, like, you know, does it have pumpkin? Is it more of just a cinnamon streusel? Is it apple related? So let me know in the chat, what's your favorite, like, fall, winter baking thing that you're craving? And so in here, oh no, I got 1 teaspoon. I need to get a 1/2 teaspoon. That'd be helpful if I was listening to my own directions. Oh my goodness. I'm glad it's Wednesday. I wish it was Thursday. I actually don't wish it was Friday yet because we're going out to dinner Friday, but I do wish it was Thursday because that would mean tomorrow is Friday. But it is what it is, right? Okay, so butter's there, brown sugar, regular sugar, flour. There we go. All right, I'm going to leave that open because we'll need cinnamon for our cake later too. And to that, we're going to add a 1/4 cup. I'm going to save that for that. I'm going to use this knife, a 1/4 cup of butter. I cracked myself up because I've had, 2-3 sips of that wine, and I can already feel it in my cheeks. Although part of it's probably what I'm feeling is being a little bit anxious about this blurry screen in front of me, but you know, what are you going to do? So that would be a 1/2 stick of butter. So I'm just eyeballing. Looks like about a 1/2 stick. Yeah, might have been a little more. That's fine. This is just a streusel topping. We don't have to be so exact. And then what I like to do is just use my fingers and push the butter. By the way, I've already washed my hands in case you were all wondering. And I'm just pushing the butter apart with my fingers. And I'm sure a lot of you have all done this, but for anyone that hasn't, don't be worried or scared or nervous. You're literally like you're pushing the butter and then you're letting it go. And meanwhile, you're kind of mixing the flour and the sugar, and we're making a lovely little streusel topping. And who doesn't love a streusel topping? Like, that is delicious. And this will go on top of our pumpkin chocolate chip bread cinnamon swirl cakey thing. All I know is it looks delicious. And her video, oh my gosh, if you don't watch her video and want to make this right away, I don't know who you are. And I don't know if I need to be friends with you. I mean, I watched the video and I knew right then and there I was making this. And I told her so. I was like, I'm making this week. She was really lovely. So thank you for this great recipe. I cannot wait to try it. So then what you're going to do is you're going to keep doing that process of pushing the butter through the flour until it kind of resembles chunky sand. Because it's not going to be, I actually don't mind a couple little butter chunks in there, so I'm not going to say sand, but just kind of chunky sand. And I'll show you. Again, a lot of my experts here already know all about this. Let's see what y'all are talking about. Oh, 4 tablespoons. Whoops. Whoops, Eugenia. Oh, well, it still should be good. And there was another teaspoon of sugar. I think it'll be sweet enough. That's my guess. So Eugenia loves cinnamon rolls with cream cheese, peanut butter frosting. I have never had anything like that. I mean, I've had cinnamon rolls, not with the cream cheese peanut butter. And then it's still hazy. Okay, thanks, Arch. Friends, again, if you're watching this, some really good food tonight, and I apologize for the haze. Maybe we've got some smoke from the Canadian fires. Are those done, by the way? I hope they are. I felt so bad for my Canadian friends dealing with all those fires. It is hazy, and I have no idea. And I'm so pink and red-faced. Ah, what's with that? All right. Yes, I do think it's the feed, Eugenia. Absolutely. I know, Arch. Arch is like, for the love of Pete, just chill, Phil, right? That's what you need to say to me, Arch. You just need to say, chill, Phil. That should be my mantra. Okay. So let me just get this. Get a little towel to dry my hands off. Okay, so we have our streusel, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mix our, there's a little swirl that goes in between the halves of the batter. And it's not really swirled because you don't make it liquid, but whatever. I'm going with it because it looks good. And that's just a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon And then so then it was funny. She said like a quarter tablespoon of brown sugar, but that was for a full teaspoon of cinnamon, and I just wasn't sure about that. So I decided that I was going, sorry Kylie, I decided that I was gonna, I think I might still need that, to fudge it and put it with a tablespoon, which now seems like a lot. Maybe I'll do a half a tablespoon of brown sugar. So you can already see I'm breaking rules, which is totally on brand for me. I do know that once it comes to baking and the things that are actually going to be rising and all that, not to break the rules. But with this little topping, so I'm just going to, do like about a half. So this we're going to be sprinkling to get some intense cinnamoniness. Oh, Hubs isn't here to hear that new word. I think I've made that word before. Okay, so I'm just going to take, oh, I forgot to show you the other stuff. So there we go. So I'm just kind of getting this cinnamon mixed up with that brown sugar, and this will, and this will go between the batter. You know, Archie, honestly, part of me got in the cake bread mood with that beautiful blueberry. What did you put in that fruit one you made? It was blueberry and something else, which looked absolutely delicious. And Hubs loves cake. He often will, like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, say, do we have any cake? And of course we don't. We don't have any cake. All right, let me show you what this looks like. Let me get a little spoon. So this is the streusel topping. So you can see, it's just kind of like wet sand, but kind of coarse, chunky wet sand would be the best thing. And now we're going to get our wet ingredients together. Let me put these over here. And of course, this is going to involve pumpkin. So I'm going to open up my can of pumpkin. This is a small one. I usually get the big can when I make all my pumpkin bread for Thanksgiving, and I always make pumpkin bread for Thanksgiving. Do you guys make pumpkin bread for Thanksgiving? Actually, that's a good question. For those that celebrate Thanksgiving, what do you make? What is, because that's coming up. I think it's almost 2 weeks away, which is like not very much time. So my question is, what traditionally do you have if you celebrate Thanksgiving on your Thanksgiving table? Would love to know. So we are definitely team tradition. We got the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the pumpkin bread, the rolls. There's always lots of different veggies. So I need to have a little sip of some fruit right now. That is such a delicious wine. Okay, so we're going to put 3/4 cup of the pumpkin. So let me get my measure. Okay, and I'm going to use a little spatula. And you know, by the way, I don't know about y'all, but a lot of times I've come across recipes where I just seem like I always have some leftover canned pumpkin. Because oftentimes if you're making, I don't know so much pumpkin pie because I don't actually make a lot of pumpkin pie. So my niece usually makes pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. But whenever I make my pumpkin bread, it's not the exact size of the can, and especially if I'm getting the bigger one and making 2. So I always have canned pumpkin left over. And I don't know if you all saw last year, I showed a pasta that had pumpkin with it, which is really good. So you can always use pumpkin as a base for a sauce or a soup. Don't ever throw it away. And the other thing I also love to do, depending upon how much or how little I have, if I have a good amount, I will reduce it, add those spices, and I think there's a little bit of sugar, and make pumpkin butter, which is delicious to spread over anything, and it keeps for such a long time. So that was 1/2 cup, and now I'm going to just eyeball 1/4 cup. I know I said I wasn't going to eyeball for the real cake stuff, but I lied. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to see how well I estimate. You know, it's funny, when I was in school, I don't think I ever realized how much estimation was going to be important as an adult, but don't we estimate a lot? I mean, we absolutely do. That is a skill. All right, at least with that skill, it doesn't have to be totally perfect. So that is approximately 3/4 cup of pumpkin. I did my best. And look at all that pumpkin I have left. So I'm going to either throw that in the soup, a sauce, or make pumpkin butter. That is, and by the way, now it does reduce a lot, but what happens is when you make a proper recipe for pumpkin butter, it gives you a lot. So either give away to a lot of people, but this would actually make probably just a nice little amount for us to enjoy. So just a thought. I'm gonna put that back over here. Let me just rinse this out in case I need that cup. All right, so we have our wet ingredient of our pumpkin, and then we're gonna need to add some oil, and I already measured it, and it's a 1/4 cup oil. She, I think, had a specific oil, just any neutral oil, so I have that. And then a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, so we're gonna get our brown sugar again. And even though brown sugar is dry, it actually goes with the wet ingredients, so don't let that, mess you up. Let me see, get my 1/4 cup, which I don't have. So Eugenia said it's 4 tablespoons, so now I'll do it the proper way. 1, 2, and of course brown sugar you want to push in, 3, right? You want to pack it. There we go. So we have a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then a tablespoon of maple syrup. And I am almost out of my maple syrup. We got this maple syrup when we were at the Finger Lakes in New York, a beautiful area of the country. And they have all these wineries, hiking. It's just gorgeous. It's not high mountains, but they're hills. It's the loveliest area. So we're going to do and this one was from, I don't know where it was from, but it was good. And I'm so sad that we're almost out of this. This was an excellent maple syrup. And we're going to put in here, where was it? 1 tablespoon. And I realized there was one thing I was going to prep for the stream tonight because of doing this, and I didn't. Oops, very on brand for me. I just forgot, honestly, and that is very on brand for me as well if you're not familiar with me. And that is, I don't actually have pumpkin pie spice. And the reason is that I have all the spices that make pumpkin pie spice, and I just, I actually don't have anything that calls just for pumpkin pie spice, but I have cloves and allspice and cinnamon and all that good stuff. So I actually had written down on my phone, which is right there, a little recipe for pumpkin pie spice, and now I forget what it is. So I'm going to look that up, and let me see here what I missed. Oh, yes, Eugenia, pumpkin is so good for dogs. And actually, if they have any digestive problems, it's really good to give them as well. I make almost everything Ina Garden. Oh, I love Ina. That would be like a dream to meet her someday. I also make a brown sugar sweet potato pie. Oh, that's, actually, you know what? I like sweet potato pies much better than pumpkin pies. I'm not a big pumpkin pie person. For as much as I love pumpkin, and I think it's the consistency, but the sweet potato pies I like much better. And you were asking, Archie, if my cinnamon was Saigon or Ceylon. That is really a good question. This all I know is organic, so I don't really know. This is from Simply Organic Cinnamon, so I don't really know. That's a super good question. And yes, it's hard not to fancy her, right? And Jeffrey, oh my gosh. You would sit there, Archie, and you would like go, oh, but I love her and Jeffrey. I think they're the cutest. Yeah, she's got a great smile. I know, right? And you'd have to get by Jeffrey. And he loves her roast chicken, so he's not letting that woman go. All right, so friends, I'm gonna somehow make so I know what I can do. I have my computer right now. I'm just gonna look up I'm gonna get away from the chat for a second and look up pumpkin pie spice. It's great when you have your computer right there. Oh, I forgot to put recipe. That would help. It's showing me a bunch of pumpkin pie spice, which I don't really want. And let's see what we've got here. And I think this is the one I was looking at. Yes. Okay, so I need to make a short. So it gave me this, and I'm like, I'm not making that much pumpkin pie spice. So it's mostly ground cinnamon, some ginger, and then, oh wait, I gotta open it up. So mostly ground cinnamon, some ginger. Let me get to, oh my goodness. These recipe pages you go to and it just takes forever to get to everything. And I forgot to press jump to the recipe. I just started swiping, so let me get to it. And I know they all do that, but it's just, okay. So it's 3 parts ground cinnamon to like, oh dear. Okay, I'm just going to do a little easy math. It doesn't have to be perfect. So it's mostly cinnamon, some ginger, a little less nutmeg, and even more less cloves and allspice. And I'm going to skip the black pepper myself. All right, So let me just get that real quick. So I apologize, friends. I actually did mean to have this all done. So thank you for your patience. You can see I have a spice problem. I have too much stuff, and it's because of my cooking addiction. I love cooking. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, didn't mean to yell. I'm so excited. I forgot. Someone had given me pumpkin, oh, is that enough? Someone had given me pumpkin pie spice, or maybe Matt had it and it wasn't gonna be, anyways, I have some, I'm so excited. So I lied to you again. I didn't mean to lie. I literally did not think I had pumpkin pie spice because I never use it. I always just use, look at this craziness. I need to have a better system. Just tons of spices. We got some mustard seeds, some clove, whole cloves, ground cloves, poppy seeds, cream of tartar, and then here is ginger, bay leaves, coriander, cloves, more cloves, black pepper. I mean, I just have so much stuff. This is just a problem. I always tell my son who loves to cook, I'm like, if you need anything, don't buy it. Come, I'll give you some, because I always have extra. This made my day. This actually made my Wednesday because I did not want to have to make a little pumpkin spice, so I'm glad I looked. All right, so in here, back to our thing, we put in pumpkin, brown sugar, oil, maple syrup, and in here, oh, we're not doing, I'm sorry, I digress. We're going to put the pumpkin pie spice in with the flour. Sorry. So we're going to whisk this real quick, and I'm going to save Archie from my big old rainbow whisk. I'm just going to do my normal whisk because I'm feeling nice tonight, Arch. So we're just whisking these ingredients. Oh, doesn't have to be well mixed. We're just kind of giving them a whirl. And then on top is where I'm going to sift my ingredients, and then they can go right through, finish sifting, and then do some mixing. Since we're getting closer to assembling this all, I'm going to go turn on my air fryer and get it preheated. I'm going to be cooking these at my air fryer at 320 because it doesn't have a 325, and I'm going to be, I think I predicted 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm going to check it at 20 minutes. Whoops. By the way, I'm laughing. Oh wait, I got to preheat first. I'm laughing because this is what drives Hubs crazy about me is all my digressing, and then it takes me forever to do anything. So you all are saints because you're all putting up with me taking absolutely forever. And by the way, here's some cooking spray that I'll use. So in here we're going to be putting, for our dry ingredients, we are going to put in 1 cup of flour. I'm going to not need this quarter cup anymore. I need a full cup. Let's see. It's funny, you see all this stuff on my kitchen, and you see how much I prepped, and yet there's still things I didn't get out. Like, that always boggles my mind. Okay, so 1 cup of flour, and this is kind of packed, so I really want to mix this up, because you don't want to over pack your flour. I should actually measure this by grams, which is what I do when I make bread, but usually for these quick breads, I don't tend to measure. I'm just going to be honest with you. And it's not because I can't, it's because I'm lazy. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, so we have our 1 cup of flour right there, and we are going to add to the flour 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. I kind of put them together there. 1/4 teaspoon salt, and then our chips will go in at the end. So I can take this and put the lid on and move our flour away. We won't need any more flour. There we go. Love that container. And we need our baking powder, our baking soda. See, I did get some things ready. And we need our 1/2 teaspoon. And what's nice about these is they have 2 sides. So you can use the other side that you didn't use for the cinnamon. And it kind of gives you extra uses. So 1/2 teaspoon of each of these. And then some pumpkin pie spice that I found. I'm so excited about. You know, I hope some of the people that are watching just appreciate that this is what happens as we get more mature. It all happened when I had kids. I said, oh, I have baby brain. And then it all happened when I started going through perimenopause. Sorry, Archie, not to go into this topic, but And now, well, I'm not through it yet. So I just hope I'll get my brain back. So if any of you have been through it, do we get our brain back eventually? That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm worried about. So I need 1 full teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Now that's a tablespoon. Oh, where did my teaspoon go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So 1 full teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Okay, there we go. So many utensils. I'm throwing all this in the dishwasher tonight, by the way. Hubs is not here to clean up, and I need to find some answers. All right, so, and then what I'm gonna do, I have all my dry ingredients, is I'm just gonna do this. And what's nice is everything gets sifted. I still have to add my salt, but my salt doesn't go through this, so that's why I add my salt last. And it's all set. So that's what I like to do. And then I think I just need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I think that's all I need. Yes, so I'm just gonna eyeball that. Okay, we got that. I use kosher salt in all of my stuff. And then I'm going to just take this and I'm just gonna get it mixed. Mix it up. In most of these, you don't want to overmix. So, and I'm noticing from the amount, this is not as loose as hers was. Did I miss something? Got the oil, pumpkin, no? Okay, I'm just making sure. I just feel like when I saw her video, her mixture was looser. So, just a little worried about that. And I did measure my oil, so that I know. You know what? Maybe my flour is more packed. I'm just gonna add a tad more, there's a little bit left in here. I'm just gonna add a tad more oil. Not that you should do that at the end. And maybe just a little bit more pumpkin. Let me see, that's clean. So I'm gonna add a tad more pumpkin just to kind of loosen it up. I'm totally, what do you call it, improvising right now, but I just feel like it's a little bit firmer than I would like. And I don't really want to overmix, but I'm not used to a quick bread or cake thing being this. So we'll see, being this firm. All right, so here's our dough. Okay, and then I'm going to spray. I think this is going to be fine for it. If not, you know, maybe it'll get a souffle. And I'm just going to spray, because I do want to get the outer layers. Whoop, there we go. I think I'm at the end of this. There we go, that works, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put half of this in here, just eyeball it, spread it. Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna put half in. This is fun, because when you use the parchment paper, which I definitely wanna use because, because it'll be easier to get out, but it is just sloshing all over. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. It is, cooking is fun. And you know what, if you just can't laugh at yourself, like pizza night when I almost like lost part of the pizza into the oven, you know, if you can't laugh, you know, life is too short. So I put half in there, and then I'm gonna put this cinnamon, brown sugar, streusel, not streusel, this was called the swirl. That goes in between. I probably have a little too much sugar. I might not put all that in. That seems like a lot. And then I'm gonna put the rest of this. Oh no, I forgot the chips. Okay, all right. That's good, we're all good. This is my life. All right, it's a good thing I don't own a business because that would be a problem. So, by the way, my favorite chocolate chips are Ghirardelli. I love Ghirardelli. These are semi-sweet. I often get the 60% ones, but when I went into my pantry, I saw I had semi-sweet, and so those are gonna have to do, and they are delicious. I think they're great. And by the way, I've gotta get back to my chat. Sorry, friends. I don't mean to be ignoring you. Let's see here. So Eugenia says, Archie, you don't like the feminine issues, friend. It takes a good deal of time for the fog to lift, but the short-term memory is never the same. But the only good thing is, Eugenia, is Hubs has the same issues short-term memory-wise, so we are hilarious. Like, it is the questions that we ask each other time and time again are hysterical. It really is. And I'm so grateful that he is as bad as I am, because like he can't get really upset at me because he does the same stuff. Marcy, welcome to the stream. So glad you joined us. And it took me quite a few streams to fully grasp the concept of, eyeballing it. Okay. Yeah, that must be a term. I didn't know that was a term that we use just here in the States. Yes, eyeballing it. And I think, as it comes from, because you're kind of like using your eye, like, does that look about right? Wonderful. All chilly here in Boston. Yeah, I heard it was really cold. I mean, it was colder here today than it was yesterday. But I would love some snow. And I know Barb would love some too. So we're not going to have chips on the bottom. I might just sprinkle a couple here for good measure. And I'll add the chips to the other dough. Oh my gosh, Marcy, I'm forgetful. Okay, so I think I was estimating about, how many chips was I estimating? I wrote it down. About 1/3 cup chips. So, but you measure with your soul. You always measure chocolate with your soul. And by the way, chocolate and Pinot Noir, they go so well together. So well. When we were up in the Finger Lakes, we went to this one winery, and they did a wine pairing with chocolate. And what was so cool was all the different chocolate was different. Like it all kind of married with what the wines were. So like one of the wines was Pinot Noir, but they just had all different kinds, and it was so cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Finger Lakes, if you are ever here, I highly recommend. We stayed at a little VRBO on Lake Keuka, which is one of the smaller lakes actually up there. And yeah, it was just delightful. So now I'm just going to try to spread this. It's not spreading super well, but it's going to taste good because there's good ingredients. And as Ina would say, how bad could it be, right? I am hoping it'll be moist. Hers looked so moist. So that's my main thing, is I just hope mine is as moist as hers, because I'm telling you, if you've just got to check the video just for some food porn, it was it looked so delicious. All right, so then this is what it looks like now. So Marcy, before I make my dinner, we're kind of delayed because I had this craving for this thing I saw on Instagram, and it was this pumpkin streusel swirl chocolate chip cake bread thing. And this is way too much streusel for this. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to have to save this streusel and make something else to use on it. Okay, this is just a lot of streusel. Oh my God, that is a lot of streusel. Yeah, I feel, what do y'all think? Should I add it all, or should I? Because it's like a lot. That is fully covering it, probably, I don't know, like at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch deep. What do you think? And Eugenia says, I live in a ski town, but there's been a drought. Oh, that's not good. Yes, Marcy, I agree with you. Cooking recipes from scratch takes time, patience, until we're professional at it. Use a bigger pan. Well, I've already put it in. And actually, the pan isn't the problem. It's just the streusel is like more than it really fits for the cake. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we need that much streusel. It's more of a balance. And Eugenia, there we go. There's no such thing as too much streusel. So let's just dump. Like, who doesn't take all the streusel off the top anyway? I don't know. Archie, did you have, in England, there was a thing I grew up on, my parents would get, and we'd be so excited. And it was, I'm going to put this in, by the way, for 20 minutes at 350. So let me go do that, and I'll tell you my little story. And you know what? I'm just going to put something down in case as it bakes, it lifts up, and if all that streusel dumps over, I'm going to put a piece of parchment down on my air fryer. I'm just going to be smart about this one. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to put it in for 320 and for 20 minutes and check on it then. But back to the story. So my parents, what they would get for special is Entenmann's. Yes, Entenmann's. And they were those streusel donuts. They were cinnamon, and they had like those streusel knobs on them. Does anyone remember that? I mean, I'm sure they still make them, but I have not had them in years. And oh my gosh, like as a child, I would look for the one that had the most. And they were a cake type of donut, And they had, you know, honestly, as yummy as they were, so many preservatives in them because they would last for quite a while. Not forever, not like Twinkies, but they would last for a good stretch. And where did my butter spray? Oh, here it is. But yes, so it's just all about the streusel. So I would literally just eyeball arch, and look for the donut that had the most streusel. And if any of that streusel dropped off, you know, when you picked it out of the box, because it came in one of those like long boxes, oh, you had every right to go fish out that streusel. Okay, so thank goodness we got that in the oven. How long did that take us? Oh my goodness, it took us 50 minutes. Apologies, I did not expect that to take that long. So now, the reason we're here, oh, that's right, I want to get this going. So I preheated my water, and I should have actually gotten that back going. I preheated my water here so that I could pour it over my noodles. So as soon as that's up and going, we are going to pour that over our rice noodles. So Singapore noodles, again, are one of my favorite things to make on the quick. And like I said, you can use a protein or you cannot use a protein and just use egg. So I'm going to get some. I'm kind of making this for one. I'm eyeballing it, Arch, so I'm not really sure how this is all going to turn out. But the first thing I want to do is get some of these. And believe it or not, this is like half a package. I had taken one of these out, so and I still have all this left. You get so many in these rice vermicelli. So I'm just keeping one of those sections for the Singapore noodles. I'm putting that one all back. And like they go everywhere, all those little noodles, they just kind of multiply. And so then I'm going to cover that with hot water and just let them kind of get tender, and then I'm going to drain them and dry them. Not dry them, you know, with a towel, but just let them dry because I don't want them to be super moist when they go in there. It's kind of a drier noodle dish, if you will. And for me, it's such an addictive taste. So once my water has come back up, which will be up soon, we will pour it on here, and I'll keep an eye on it, and we will drain, all right? Meanwhile, I went into my fridge to get some of the things that I had, and this is just what I had. I always have carrots, so that's something I can always roast or throw into a dish. I always have, or I usually have some pepper. You can see I used it for, I forget what I used it for. I think it was something I'd made earlier this week. I've got some onion because there's always an onion, and I have these green onions, so I'm going to use those. I think, you know, you can just use whatever you have. It's like fried rice that you don't have a specific recipe. There's some things you definitely want to have. Mostly those things are over here, which are, you need some oil, you need some soy sauce, you need some curry powder, some turmeric. Although I was reading, because Singapore is not from Singapore, it's from actually Hong Kong. It's a Cantonese dish. And in any event, you know, you'll see all different recipes for Singapore noodles. So for me, I like my usual Asian recipe or ingredients such as ginger, garlic, onion. And then the reason I thought about making Singapore noodles is because of my Instagram scrolling, and there was this guy, I wrote his name down, and he's K-Walk Spots. And he was making, again, just kind of on the fly, Singapore noodles, and he added something I've never added to mine, and that was fish sauce. And I like fish sauce, so I'm going to add a little bit of that to mine as well. But you don't have to. So that's just, like, I've never added that before, so that's just something that I think will add a nice little bit of saltiness and funk. Like, I love fish sauce. So I'm going to start getting things chopped up. I'm going to keep an eye on my water. Yep, it is hot. So I'm going to pour this over. There we go. So I'm just going to pour this. Just pour hot water. I don't even know that it has to be almost boiling. That's just kind of what I do, just so I'm in control of, you know, the noodles getting cooked. So I'm not waiting. I think some people, if you have enough time, I think you might be able to soften them with just cold water. But I always use boiling or almost boiling water. I just find it's easier. So I'm just covering these. They don't have to even be totally covered. You just want them a good amount of water in there because right away they start to soften. Let's put this over there. right away they start to soften. And so even if they're not totally covering, you can start taking, you can see they're already moving a little bit. All that steam, I'll get myself a little facial. And we're just gonna let them go, okay? So those are rice noodles. And then I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, put this here, and I'm gonna start cutting. So the first thing I'm gonna be cutting is the peppers, onions, carrots, and scallions. I wanna get things prepped. This comes together super quick. So just like in most Asian dishes, you wanna get everything prepped first, mise en place, so that you're ready to go. And I'm going to need my special julienne thing for my carrots because that helps me julienne in a jiffy. All right, let's see what you're all saying. Hot flashes. Oh, don't even get on us about hot flashes, Arch. That is a real thing. And Marcy said, I love scallions. They really bring the flavor out in Korean, Chinese, and Asian dishes. I totally agree. I love green onions. And actually in a lot of Latin, Mexican dishes too. Just like they just add a freshness to it. I love it. And then hot flushes. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. I actually love that. Hot flushes. So since this is just for me, I'm just going to do half of this small onion. Again, I'm just eyeballing. I mean, when we're cooking something like fried rice, Singapore noodles, just a saute or a stir fry, like we're just eyeballing it. When I did the quick saute with the butternut squash ravioli, it was like, that looks good. You know, you just kind of, usually we only talk about measuring with our soul, with like things like chocolate and garlic and things like that. But I measure with my soul for really everything that doesn't require recipe. So I like onions to be different shapes. I like doing them sometimes long ways like this. I just like the texture and how they kind of fall in the noodles. So I'm just trying to break them up a little bit. Since I'm also going to be adding green onion, I don't want to have too much onion, although I'm not opposed to onion. I love onion. My brother-in-law, actually, onion does not treat him well, and I feel bad because I love onion. I think onion adds so much to so many dishes. And then we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all this or not, so let me cut this cheek off. Let me cut that cheek off, and let's see what we got. I'm going to do these pretty thin because I want them to cook fast. Ooh, that onion is a little spicy. Wow. I'm going to get some of these membranes off here. That, I can feel that. Like I feel like I've had a bunch of onions that I have not felt that, yeah, that is not going well. Go this way. That I've not really felt that from, and that onion is definitely spicy, for sure. By the way, I've watched some of my videos, and it's funny when I'm slicing or chopping, sometimes it looks like I'm going to chop my finger off, and I feel bad for you all because I can kind of see that I'm not going to chop my finger off, but I worry that you're all like, oh my gosh, Phil, what are you doing? So I don't want to have this much pepper left over, so I'm just going to have, this will be a very pepper, ooh, what was that? This will be a very pepper-heavy Singapore noodles. And I'm kind of bummed, I'm just going to be honest, visually, that this is a yellow pepper because it's not going to really stand out, right? You know, because we don't have a bunch of cool colors, but this is just what's in my fridge. And so we can't always have those beautiful dishes, right? I love the colorful meals. I love that we eat with our eyes. All right, so we got our peppers. Now I want to get my carrot. So I'm going to do, let me see, which one shall I do? I think I'll do this one. Let me first peel it. Okay. So I'm just going to get this peeled, and then I'm going to use my julienne to help me get some lovely carrot strips. And if it doesn't seem like enough, I'll get some more. So you kind of want everything to be about the same size. The carrot you want to be a little thinner because carrots, as you know, they cook. One second. They take longer to cook because they're heartier. There we go. And that's my lovely little julienne thing that I adore. It's one of my favorite tools. Okay, so then you just find a flat side and you just keep running it on. There we go. Excellent. And go to the other side. And then you do have to kind of undo them because they're always connected, and that's the only thing I don't love about it, but it's fine. So do you guys make Singapore noodles? Is there anyone that hasn't had Singapore noodles? I'm curious about that. All right. I would like there to be more carrots, but honestly, I don't feel like doing another carrot, so there's that. Let me put that in there. Okay, and I'm also going to get some of my green onions ready. So with my green onion, I'm going to separate the green and the white parts. The white parts I'm going to use at one point to mix with the garlic, and the ginger when I'm putting my spices in to kind of get that bloomed. Oh, you know what? Let me wash them first. So let me do that. And the green, then I'll toss in at the very end because I really don't want those to cook. I want them to kind of stay fresh and crisp. Okay? So let me see. Always get that outer layer if it's kind of seen better days. And what I love about meals like this is they use up the stuff that's in our fridge so we don't waste. So, I mean, you can make omelets, you can, like I said, do stir fries, you can make soups with the leftovers. But this one worked. And like I said, I could get the shrimp out, which, by the way, I think I'm going to get my shrimp out because I'll be getting those. I think they need to be peeled, so I'll be getting those done next. So I just got I think I got 8 shrimp out. All right, so I'm going to take off the really green parts, and I'm going to get these, just run my knife through there. And again, these will get sauteed up with the ginger and the garlic. I'm going to be using the Easy Peasy paste with that because I can and because it is Wednesday. It is a weeknight. So there's my whites with a little bit of the light green, and then these are ones that are going to stay. So Eugenia, what are the temperatures you're getting? And actually, Archie, same question. What are the temperatures? Because Marcy was talking about being cold. I know Barb knows what it's like here with us, which has been kind of up, down. It's a bit of a yo-yo week with weather. But what are the temperatures like there? So Eugenia says, by the way, we used to have them at our favorite Chinese place, but it was torn down for progress. Oh, that makes me sad. And would like to try Singapore noodles. Oh, these are quick and easy, and I highly recommend them. They're very addictive, in my opinion. That's why I'm just going to not make too much. By the way, let me check my noodles. Speaking of my pasta addiction. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm sure they're fine. Oh, yeah, they're fine. I can tell by the spring. Okay, so I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to tap the rest of the flour out of here. And it looks clean. I'm just going to use, and actually I'm going to save a little bit of water just in case. And the reason being, just in case, because it is a dry dish, I'm just going to have some, and there's not a lot of starch that gets taken off of the rice, in my opinion, not like regular pastas. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to just drain these, and then they can get all nice. Let me just get some of the extra water out, and then we will add those. Okay, so now our noodles are all ready. Leave them right there. Okay, so we've got this ready. I'm trying to think. And then, so for a little spice, because now I know some people have the hot Madras curry. The curry I have is just your typical curry powder. I don't have any fancy curry, but I got these at the Southeast Asian market. These are some hot peppers. And I thought, well, that would be nice. So I'm actually going to add those with the green onions to add a little spice, because you know I like me a little spice. And who knows, these might be a lot spice, but I'm okay with that. And I'm not going to make them too small so that I can't pick them out if they're too spicy, right? And since I don't have any red, I'm definitely picking a red one, because I've got some orange, I've got some yellow, some white. You know what, maybe my color isn't going to be that bad. So we've got a nice little, I don't even know what kind of pepper that is, to be honest, but it looks good. I'll show you guys close up. So from the Southeast Asian market. So it's a little pepper. I'll see, right? All right, so let's see here. I'm just going to slice that up. and I will taste a little bit because I would be wise to before I throw a bunch of this in a dish in case it's super. And I just realized some of these are a little too thick. Okay. Let's taste this, friends. Let's taste this. Okay. I'm going to take this. There's this little one that fell here. Ooh! Wow. Need my water. Oh, is that good though? So it hits you with the spice first. Like it comes in hard and fast. Like it's like the spice just goes wow. But then the flavor comes. That is excellent. I really like that very much. Definitely gave me the eye opener. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do it right now, but before I put them in, I'm going to try to take some of the seeds away because it's plenty hot. And the piece I had didn't even have a seed with it. So I'm going to do that before I go. And of course, always be careful with your hands that you don't touch your eyes or anything by your eyes during that time. All right, so my veggies are ready. Let me put them over here. I think I'm going to get my pan started. So let's go. Whoop, wrong one. I like to always preheat my pan. And I'm going to get my eggs out right now, or just really one egg. Let me just grab an egg from the carton. Since it's just basically one serving, I'm just going to use one egg. And I want to tidy this up because I have a bunch of trash here. So let me get this all tidied. And I'm going to get my shrimp ready. There we go. One of the things that Rachel Ray used to do, which I liked, is she always had that garbage bowl that really made it nice. And so instead of a garbage bowl, I have a garbage counter, right? And I just have to wipe that up then. All right. And by the way, I am super hungry at this point. Like, it smells so delicious right now. The cinnamon, the sweet. You can't really smell the chocolate. I just want to take a peek. It's 3 minutes left. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've got to show you. I've got to show you what this looks like. And we'll use a toothpick to see if it's ready. Okay, let's see. Look at this. All right, friends. Look at that. I don't know if it's ready yet, but and I wish we had smell-o-vision. I absolutely wish we had smell-o-vision. By the way, once I start cooking, I'm going to bring y'all over to my stove so you can see better. Whoops, there we go. I figured that'd only be fair. So let me get my shrimp ready. So let me just put these on here and get them out. So the first thing I'm gonna cook is the egg. I'm gonna get that cooked right off. Let me just peel these. There we go. And then I'll cook my shrimp and set them aside. So I'll cook a little egg, set it aside, cook my shrimp, set it aside. Then I'll cook my veggies. Then I'll take those away. And then, whoops, let's get this shrimp. Wait a second, I'm peeling it. Then I will come on. That's 1 second, friends. I have a stubborn little shrimp here. Okay. I'll do the veggies, get them cooked up. Nothing will take long, just minutes. And then I will put together the whites of the green onion with some garlic and ginger and add to that the turmeric and curry powder. And we'll get that kind of whizzed up in the oil and blooming and all that good stuff. Fragrant and delicious. And then we'll start adding everything back in. And then I'll add some soy sauce. And we're going to try some fish sauce. That's a new thing to try. And I'll test for seasoning in case we need any salt and pepper. The fish sauce is salty, so I want to make sure I add that first before I add any extra salt. And salt is something that we all, like certain amounts, right? So it all depends on your personal preference. I am going to get a paper towel. I want to get some of this extra moisture off the shrimp so I can get some good texture. There we go. So you can see, this can be very cost effective. I'm not using a lot of protein. Chicken would be fine. Any protein would be fine. All right, I'm going to go check my toothpick and see how our yummy cinnamon cinnamon chocolate chip pumpkin streusel cake is doing, or streusel bread. I have to look again and see. Like I said, down below in description, I have the link to her thing as well as the proper name. So let me get a toothpick out. And let's see. Whoops. Let's see. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Interesting. Let me try one more thing. I'm just not, I think it's done, but I just want to, this is not what you usually do, but I'm just going to do this because I just want to make sure, yeah, it's done. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So I don't know why, I just felt like maybe my toothpick wasn't hitting the right stuff, and I just wanted to make sure that everything was as it should be. So now I'm going to let this cool. Oopsie. Oh my Lord. I need my other hand. Oh, there we go. I was laughing watching the pizza stream because it was like I was constantly looking for my spatula or my oven mitts. There you go. And when I tell you how good this smells, oh my goodness, it smells divine. So I'm going to put this right here so we can look at it and just admire it. Let's see, I make sure you can still see it there. There we go. I'll take this out. Put this back. So that is done. Like how, I know it took a while for me to mix it because I was chit-chatting and getting sidetracked and all that, but yum, right? I got to get this cleaned up because I had shrimp here. Let me get my spray. So it's my antibacterial spray. There we go. Make sure. Just don't want anyone to get sick, meaning me. There we go. All right. I'm going to wash my hands again. Okay, so that is done. Oh my gosh, can we eat dessert first? Would that be okay? No, it actually does need to sit a little bit because it would actually not be enjoyable. It'd be so hot right now. So I'm going to mix up my egg. That is what I'm going to do next. In fact, I'm going to do something I often do. I'm going to clean out. So I use this 1 cup measure for flour. I'm going to give it a quick wash. And then I'm just going to crack my egg in there and mix it because I can, right? And that way I don't have to go get another dish. I can just wash that back up. So, all right. And let me just double check and make sure I've got everything in place so that we can start cooking, and I'll bring you all over and we'll get this party started. All right, so let's see. Let me just wipe one more time. We need this over there. And I think it's time, friends. I think it's time to bring everyone over. One more sip of wine. Okay, all right. I think we're good. Put that there. Let's bring you over. Let's get this going. So let me bring you over to the stove. And I think I'm gonna have you here. Wait, let's see. There we go. Actually, let me just do a little moving here. If I go like this. There we go. That works. That works. Okay. So let me just read the chat real quick before I go over there. Eugenia says, I need to find a baking pan that fits in my air fryer. Eugenia, if you think about it, ask me on Twitter or put a comment after this becomes a video. Remind me is what kind of I'm saying, and I will share the ones that I got, and you can see if they would fit in your air fryer because I was happy with them for sure. And it is DS. Hey, so that is. Let me go back and get this so people aren't just looking at this hot pan. In fact, let me turn down my temperature just a little bit there. So this is this recipe that I saw on Instagram that is a pumpkin chocolate chip cinnamon streusel cake or bread or something. And yeah, it just looks so good. So we're gonna be trying that too. That was like a bonus. That was a bonus. All right, so let's get this going. So let me make sure I've got, so over here, as we saw, we have our vegetables, we have our protein shrimp, we have our egg going over here. Let me show y'all, besides my hot pan. We have got, let's see here. We've got our oil. I'm just using sunflower oil. We have our turmeric, our curry. We have some garlic paste, ginger paste. You can, of course, use your own, your fresh. We have red boat fish sauce, and we have a reduced sodium soy sauce. All right, so we are about ready to go. So let's just get this going, and you can see how fast this comes together for these Singapore noodles. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, and I actually like putting my oil, because this is such a wide mouth, I don't love the pouring of that, and I save my cruet for olive oil. So I just like putting this in something else, and since I used that to measure my oil for the pumpkin bread that we made, I thought this will give me more control when pouring this, all right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my heat back up. I'm going to pour. I'm gonna use a good amount of oil only because this is gonna be using, it's gonna be cooking a lot of things. And I don't want my eggs to stick. Okay, there we go. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my eggs in. And I'm also gonna get a plate that we can take those eggs after they're cooked. You see, got the eggs all cooked in, there we go. Okay, I can take those off, put them on my plate. I'm just using a big pan here because I don't have a wok. I think you all know the story about the wok. I used to have a wok, and when I tried to season it, my sister had gotten for me, I actually messed it up when I was trying to season it. I used too much oil to try to season it, and what ended up happening was it like got this weird film on it that I couldn't get off, and I didn't know what else to do, honestly, so I ended up just pitching it. Next, we're going to get our shrimp in here and get them cooking. And I'm going to get my tongs. My tongs will work much better for this. Okay. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put some salt on my eggs too, because I really do that. A little pepper there. So let's flip these. Shrimp cook up really fast, and I don't want to overcook them. So I'll probably take them off when they're a little bit not done, just because I want to make sure that I don't overcook them. Okay, so let's get those off. I should have used a slotted spoon, by the way. That would have been smart. Let me get those shrimpies off. Okay, and now we got to get our veggies in there. So let's get our carrots, our onions, and our peppers in there. Get my heat up a little bit higher. So we're going to get these cooked. I'm going to add a little, not too much, just a little bit of salt and pepper. Get those cooked. They'll just take a minute, and then we'll add them to this pan with our shrimp and our eggs. I'm going to bring over my noodles because they are going to be, it's going to be time before we know it. So you can see, Marcy, I know you were saying you've not had this. You can see like this just cooks up so fast. And I want these crisp tender. I don't want them too cooked. So I'm just going to give them one more minute. If my pan was hotter, I probably, if I had a wok, I probably would have them off already. Now, I'm going to let you know that for everything else, you know, it's going to be eyeballing it. I'm doing it for one serving. I I wish I could give you the exact measurements, but I will tell you, you can definitely look up Singapore noodles, and I'm sure there are lots of recipes that you can go to. I will just list below later the ingredients I used, okay? So I'm going to take these off. So next thing I want to do is I want to get my aromatics in here, okay? And that is what's going to be important. So let me get this out first. One second. Just get some of this stuff out. So DS, what are you and Ruby having tonight for dinner? Or what did you already have? You might have already had dinner. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to just turn it back to medium. And see, I might just have a little bit left there. I'm just going to take that out. And in here then, actually I'm going to take it off the heat when I put everything in so I can control. So I'm going to put some garlic. Ooh, that was a lot of garlic. I probably wouldn't put that much for one serving, but Hubs isn't here, so I can. Go maybe half of the amount of ginger. Not that you have to, that's just what I'm feeling tonight. I'm going to put, it'll probably be about like a teaspoon of curry, would be my guess. Okay. I love curry. This is not hot, so I don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to put probably about, I don't know, not too much. That's enough turmeric, just about that much turmeric. And I'm going to get a wood spoon for this. So what I want to do is I just want this to bloom. I want my, oh, I forgot my green onions. See, there we go. It wouldn't be Philly if she didn't forget something. So I'm going to get my green onions there too. I just want these all to kind of get yummy together. Right? Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I cannot even tell you how delicious this smells. The aroma, this is why you do this, because it smells amazing. And of course, doing this also brings the flavor out in the turmeric and in the curry. And then friends, all we're gonna do is we're gonna put everything back in. So my first thing I'm gonna dump in are my noodles. Let me just get some of this goodness off there. I don't want that to be on my spoon or my spatula there. So I'm going to get these in first. Get some of that flavor. And then I'm going to get the rest of my stuff in. There we go. Just dump. It's just dumping time then. Okay? Dump and toss. We can break up our egg a little bit so that egg becomes more pieces. So it's almost like a dry saute. This is not meant to be a really watery dish. We still have to add our soy sauce and our fish sauce that he had recommended, but just not for nothing. You can see it's predominantly a yellow dish with the turmeric, the curry, and my yellow peppers. That's why red peppers or orange peppers would have been nice. Okay, I think we're ready now for, let me get some of this off, for the soy sauce and the fish sauce. So I'm going to put some soy sauce. That seems about right. I'm going to put a little smidge of fish sauce. He didn't put a ton of fish sauce. Let me just put a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get that a nice toss. Oh my gosh. Again, it just smells so good. So delicious. I think I overcooked my noodles a little bit because they're breaking up, which means I did overcook them a little bit, but you know what, it'll still taste good. That's the one thing that makes the streams hard is balancing, like talking and paying attention to the little things. And then what I'm going to do next is get in my green onions, because I'm going to sprinkle. No, I'm not going to sprinkle. I'm going to put some of these in, not all of them. And I'm not going to do the ones with all the, so wait, I have too many utensils. Just a sec. All right, so I'm going to take some of these on the end that don't have seeds and throw them in, that one in too. So I'll have little pops of spiciness that'll come in, right? And I might throw a couple on top just because I'm a glutton for punishment, right? It's just, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. All right, so sorry for all the pounding, but I just want to keep the noodles not on my spatula, but there. Let's get this out. Let's see. I'm going to move you all back, take this off the heat, and let's see what we got here and give a taste. It's going to be a little warm. Okay, friends, so let me bring this up here. Okay, there we go. Let's move this so y'all can see it. Don't want to forget about that. Okay. Oh, my goodness. So good. Let me bring this over so you can see. Let me also dish up. Let's see here. It smells so good. And of course, I am so hungry because I have not eaten yet. Let me just show this to you. So we've got shrimp, peppers, carrots, onions, green onions, egg, rice noodles, all the aromatics. Oh, I do need to taste it before I try, because I'm just doing a little tasting just because I want to make sure the seasoning. So I shouldn't have thrown those peppers in. It's delicious, but literally the spice exploded. That is going to be a spicy dish. Holy cow. All right, so let me get this dished up. Wow, those are spicy. Did anyone have any idea what kind of peppers those were, by the way? Hubs would be like, oh my goodness, what are you trying to do to me? That is exactly what he would probably say. Okay, there we go. Let me get a nice little green onion there. Some of these yummies. Of course, we've got my little pepper fetish there. Can put that on so I'm remembering that this is hot. Oh my gosh, that is spicy. No joke about that. There we go. Let me get the egg. Let me show you. So you don't have to do that. You don't have to add any pepper actually, but I do like it spicy. There you go. All right, so there is our Singapore noodles. So let me give a try, because I'm going to save this for a picture. You know me. Save that for a picture. I'm going to get, hopefully I don't knock my socks off, although that would be good TV, right? I'm going to get a shrimp. The perfect bite. I've got pepper, carrot, onion, shrimp. Let's try it. It's really hot. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I wish I put a little more curry powder. I like my Singapore noodles really curry. And I had gotten a hot spot. This time it wasn't as bad. So I think what happens is wherever those peppers touch, it becomes extra spicy, but that wasn't bad. So that's good news that the whole thing isn't screaming hot. I'm gonna take one more bite because I gotta try this, right? Marcy, I'm telling you, you gotta try Singapore noodles. They're quick, they're easy. You can throw whatever you want in there, really. I mean, you know, stick to some of the basics, but then veggie-wise, you can put whatever veggies you want. So delicious. Let me see what I've missed here. Bird's eye. It was funny you said that, Archie, because I was wondering if that was a bird's eye chili. But I thought, oh, I'm gonna say something silly, and they're gonna be like bird's eye. But because I've heard it's a Thai one, right? Arch, isn't bird's eye a type of Thai chili, which is just where you were at? Oh no, they are Thai chilies, but they call them bird's eye. Like that's actually what they're named. And what's funny was at the Southeast Asian market, they didn't label them. They were just there in bags. Like it's just, so you're just like, okay. But I knew they'd be hot and I wanted them hot, but yeah. And then Eugenia said, anyone else notice the sriracha shortage? Yes. In fact, I think we mentioned it at one of our streams, Eugenia. I couldn't get my usual brand. I had to get a different brand, which was very good. It was the same brand as the soy sauce I get, which is Lee Kum Ki. Yeah, Lee Kum Ki, right? Am I saying that right? So same brand. And then there was someone else that was talking about another brand. So yes, there is a shortage. And so I bought that months ago just because I'm like, I needed to make sure I had some because I love sriracha. And very thin, but quite punchy. That's a good way to put it, Arch. They are quite punchy. All right, so now I want you to see this yumminess. So you do not need to do this, but I want to take this out. of here because, let me get my little, I have a little mini, you know what, I'll just use this. This will work. I want to kind of like loosen this up around the sides. And again, Eugenia, I'll try to remember to send you the link, but don't be afraid to like reach out. And then this, see what's so nice about these? And Eugenia, I'll send this also, but the only problem is now I got to take it off. I mean, I don't have to take it off, but you know me, I want to, and I'm stubborn, so I did. Look, I wanted to and I did. That's kind of how I roll. So I want you to see kind of some of the sides of this. So look at this. So you can see right here some of the layers of it. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. I hope it's super moist. That's what I was hoping. Okay, so I'm going to cut in. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Oh wait, I need some, oh there, this at least has some chocolate chips. It's very moist. Now, oh, it's so moist that it's a little undone in the middle. Now, remember I was not wondering, I should have trusted my gut. Well, I did not mean to make a lava cake, but apparently I did. So that's a problem. And Eugenia, that's the one problem sometimes with baking in the air fryer is sometimes like it looks like it's more done from the outside, and that's why you always have to check. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat from the outside. I'm going to put this back in because I can. And so I'm going to let you guys know because I do want it to finish cooking. All right, so there we go. But look how moist that is. My gosh. Oh, it's delicious. I will say mine doesn't look quite as yummy as hers does, but it is delicious. That cinnamon, that cinnamon goes a long way. That's so yummy. And what I also like is with all that sugar that we put in there, it actually isn't too sweet. I'm going to put that in for like 5 minutes and see if I can get it to finish. I know it's going to kind of mess up everything else, but we really don't want it to be undone in the middle. So anyways, but there we go. I'm going to be eating this bowl in front of the TV in just a minute. But thank you so much. Thank you, Marcy, Eugenia, DS, Archie, Barb. I'm trying to think, was there anyone else I missed? Let me just go here real quick. I know that some of our friends, Kathy couldn't be on here because she's working. And she was actually, I think, getting observed or something. So I think that's it. Barbara, let me make sure, because at the beginning there was Barbara and Archie. Okay, Barbara, Archie, Eugenia, DS, and Marcy. I think that was everybody. If there was anyone else, please let me know. And coming up on Sunday, I mentioned this at the pizza stream, we are doing a Philly try-or-buy. We are trying Porco's, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, porcheteria. So they make porchetta. And I have never had porchetta, and I've heard wonderful things about it. So I want porchetta. It's supposed to be good there, and we need to order it for lunch because as soon as they run out, they're done. So we're going to order lunch on a Sunday. That's going to be our main meal. We're going to do a try-or-buy in our usual spot over there at the dining table, and we'll let you know how it is. And we'll get things more than just a porchetta sandwich. Their menu is actually phenomenal. I've already scoped it out and trying to figure out exactly what we're going to order. But that will be Sunday, so join us if you want to kind of see what we're munching on. It'll be a little earlier than usual, so I think Po will be able to join, which is really good because I know she likes the earlier streams being in South Africa. And friends, great happy hump day. Thank you all for joining me, and anyone that's watching from afar, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And until we eat again, bye friends. Have a great week.